Are you a psychologist and do you live in California? And are you planning to start your own private practice? In today's video, I am going to talk to you about the 5 considerations to make prior to registering a psychological corporation. Hi, my name is Andrew. I'm the managing attorney here at Malai Law, where we help entrepreneurs just like you start your businesses without having to deal with the complicated legal forms. Our done-for-you service is backed by over 2,830 plus 5-star Google reviews, and we can help you start your business too. The purpose of these videos are to provide you with as much guidance and clarity in the beginning stages of starting a business. So if you haven't already, please make sure you hit the like, subscribe, as well as the bell notification so you don't miss out on any future videos. Prior to doing anything related to business, it's always recommended that you speak with a professional. And so with that side note out of the way, let's go ahead and talk about the 5 considerations to make prior to registering and starting a psychological corporation here in California. The first and one of the most important considerations you're going to want to make prior to starting a private practice for your psychological work is going to be a business plan. Complete and done is better than perfect. And so if you have not considered or if you have not brainstormed a business plan, it's highly recommended that you do so. Creating and brainstorming a business plan will help you organize the initial steps of forming a psychological corporation. Some considerations you're going to want to make is 1, is this going to be a business that you operate via an office? 2, is this going to be a business that you will be providing teletherapy? 3rd, you're going to want to do your best to calculate any sort of fees and expenses that you will incur in the startup process of your psychological business. Fees and expenses can range anywhere from hiring an accountant, hiring a bookkeeper, hiring a business manager. Do keep in mind that all of this is scalable, which means that you're able to delegate these tasks out. Or if you want, you can always handle these yourself, which is what most startup businesses do in the first place. However, if an individual is not experienced in these type of matters, they're going to want to highly consider hiring an accountant, a bookkeeper, etc. In addition to these considerations, during your business planning, you're also going to want to do your best to calculate the amount of revenue that your business is going to bring in. And then of course, when it comes to the business plan, you're going to have to figure out how you plan to actually market your business. Do you plan to market your business just in the county where you will be providing services, or do you plan to market and provide your services all across California? If that's the case, you're going to want to ask yourself, will I be using SEO for Google Ads, or will I be using social media, which is a very popular marketing business choice for many new entrepreneurs? The second consideration you're going to want to make is support. Support is very important when it comes to new entrepreneurs, and the reason for this is because starting a business can be a little bit difficult if one does it oneself. However, every single person differs, and if you have resources out there such as friends, family, social media pages such as Facebook groups, in order to ensure that you do everything possible to start a successful business. The third consideration you're going to want to make is, do I need to apply for a business loan? Now, applying for a business loan may come with many advantages, and it really depends on the type of expenses that you see yourself having to complete and pay, either in the beginning stages of starting the business, so startup expenses, or even operating expenses. If you don't already know, there are many apps out there that really help in growing a business, and some of these apps can be a monthly payment subscription plan, or they can be a yearly subscription plan, and so you're going to want to take all of these into consideration. Additionally, a business loan will assist with being able to rent out office space. You'll be able to make monthly payments, and secondly, a loan will be able to assist with any sort of travel expenses if that's something that you plan to do. Will you be traveling to your patients to your clients? Will you be flying to your patients or clients? These are all considerations that you're going to want to make. Now, the fourth consideration you're going to want to make prior to starting a psychological corporation and private practice is malpractice insurance. You always want to ensure that you protect yourself as much as possible. And so when it comes to malpractice insurance, it's actually quite common business practice for one to register and apply for malpractice insurance. If a psychologist is already being insured with a malpractice provider and they plan to create their own practice, they're going to want to either clarify with their employer or they're going to want to clarify with the actual insurance provider to see what can be done in order to continue on that malpractice insurance protection. As a side note, a professional psychological corporation provides what's called personal liability protection. And if you're not too familiar with what personal liability protection actually is, it means that your business liability will be separate from your personal liability. So as an example, say for example, psychologist Jennifer, for whatever reason, gets sued. In this event, the liability will only fall upon the business. That's typically how it works. As a result of the liability only falling on the business itself, her personal assets, such as her personal car, personal bank account, personal house, that should be protected. And the fifth and final consideration you're going to want to make is going to be the actual filing of the professional psychological corporation. It's very important that when submitting the necessary forms and documents, either with the Secretary of State as well as with the IRS, that all the details are correct. The reason why I stress this is because, say for example, one submits a document or a filing with the Secretary of State as well as the IRS. Everything works out, everything looks okay, they start their business, but it turns out down the line, maybe 6 months or a year from now, that there was one detail that was incorrect. As a result of that incorrect detail and as a result of the incorrect filing overall, that psychologist is now going to have to backtrack in order to resolve this issue with the detail. This will take up time in regards to being able to focus time and attention towards the business itself. And so making sure that you file the correct forms, the correct details with the Secretary of State, as well as making sure that one correctly applies for an EIN from the IRS will ensure the growth of the business, saving of time, and the peace of mind. These are the 5 considerations one is going to want to make prior to starting a psychological private practice here in California. If you happen to have any questions about anything that I talked about in today's video, please make sure you click the link in the description box below to book your free call with a professional who can help you better understand how the process works. If you happen to enjoy this video, please make sure you hit the like, subscribe, as well as a bell notification so you don't miss out on any future videos. It's time to invest in yourself. It's time to rise.